Hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Cinemondo review. This one is a shortcut for a film that we're doing called Minnal Murali, which is a Malayalam language Indian film and is directed by Basil
Mhm.
Joseph and stars Tovino Thomas and Guru Samasundaram. And it's
Yep.
when they go, it's a superhero film. Of course, I have this predisposition of what a superhero film is.
Mhm.
It's an origin story. Quickly, you
That's
go to
right.
action, blah, blah, blah. And there's a villain and it, has a big, all this kind of stuff. Here, it's a bit of a different experience, isn't it?
It is. And it was a lot of I would say kind of a deep dive into sort of a life that this character was having, Jason,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Jason.
Tovino Thomas
And
plays Jason, and then
yeah.
Guru plays the other character. And
Yeah.
I forgot, I think his name is, I forgot what it was. Arg.
Oh,
But
damn it. Um
we-
and then I love the girlfriend Bruce Lee cuz she liked doing martial
yes.
arts.
Yes.
That was very cute, called her Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
But it was almost kind of like a almost lighthearted comedy-ish, and just sort of showed his life in the town, and his status, and his struggles, and how he had all these goals. He wanted to be a fashion designer, and it was actually really sweet. And I was like, I really like this character. I mean, that's one thing about these films. I mean, they're long. They're like 2.5 hours long, and they take their time. But by the time you're getting to like the crux of the superhero subplot or plot, you're really invested in your character because you feel like you really know him.
You not only know him, I mean, the other character is Shabu, by the way, and he is these two characters from the same village. And Jason is this young guy who wants to be a fashion designer. He wants to move to the
Mhm.
United States. And Shabu is this kind of sad sack guy. That's Jason right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And he's this good looking guy that wants to make it big, but he's kind of looked down upon because, his girlfriend left
Yeah.
him, and, he's sort of like a sad sack. And the other character is a bit of a sad sack too. And he sort of works at this
Mhm.
little restaurant. He's sort of a waiter,
Yeah.
but he's kind of, they're not well respected in the town.
Right.
And
No.
but the village is a great feeling for the village. You go, this is so like
Really good.
you really get a lot of character development and
Yeah.
a lot of feel for the setting. And that,
Yeah.
and then I had to kind of downshift a little bit. Okay, I'm waiting for the, the superhero stuff. And that happens early.
Yeah.
They both get hit by lightning, but
Yeah.
slowly they start realizing they have these powers. And of
Right.
course it culminates in that's when the special effects come in and the action comes in towards
Yeah.
the second half of the film. But you're, like you said, you're really invested in both these characters. You kind
Mhm.
of care for both characters. It's not like there's a bad guy or a good guy.
Right.
There kind of is, but not really. You
Yeah.
sort of care.
Yeah.
The villain is not all evil, let's put it that way.
No. And I like the idea they were both struck by lightning, but they both went a different way with it.
Yes.
One guy
yes.
used as like, hey, I finally have power and authority. I
Right.
can make people fear me, and then that way, I'll get what I want. Whereas, Jason wanted to, still be a good guy, but
Right.
still try and explore his superhero powers, which he wasn't doing very well there. And he was like, well, I guess my superpower is not flying. So I really liked that aspect of it, as we got to see the two sides of the coin, and it makes you kind of wonder, what would I do if I got struck by lightning and noticed I had superpowers where I could like be super strong, and like, would I, what would happen there? You kind of, in your mind, you try and think, I'm sure I'd be a good person. And you're like, well, would I?
Well, it reminds me a little bit not of that the U.S. film Shazam, where this kid gets
Yes.
these superpowers, but he doesn't know how to use them. So it has that sort of
Yes.
vibe. It has a
It does.
lighter feel to it. And what
Mhm.
some of the wonderful comments we get from our viewers say
Yeah.
about the Malayalam films are kind of a little bit more sort of down to earth, a little bit more
Yes, they
character
are.
driven, little less, because I thought superhero special, it's going to be the special effects from minute one for 2.5
Exactly.
hours. It's not that way at all. It's a
No.
more low key. But I love, like, this scene right here is just perfect
Yeah.
example of, well, you don't see it, but he kind of pushes on that wall and there's just a crack.
Mhm.
He doesn't, like, the wall doesn't explode. It's just like,
Right.
oh my God, I'm doing more than the average person can do.
Yeah.
And then it kind of builds from there. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of exciting stuff, and actually some really funny stuff, some funny characters.
Yeah.
The young boy who's, like, I think the nephew to Jason is really kind of funny.
Really good. So
He,
cute.
he knows the superhero stuff. He knows about Batman and Superman.
Yeah,
and
he's
stuff
like his
that.
guide. He's like, look,
Right.
I know what this is. Just do what I tell you. He was the one being mortified when he would try and do some, power thing that he wasn't supposed to do. He's like, "No."
Right.
Don't.
And the
It
love
was very
interests are
cute.
good because they're sort of like you kind of understand their situation.
Yep.
There are a lot of characters, a lot of characters. The
Yeah.
sheriff, there's the
Mhm.
restaurant owner. It goes on and
Yeah.
on and on, but you get a real flavor for this town, and
And,
I
oddly,
love that.
because, the tonal shifts in these films, um, they a lot of times, like, it looks kinda lighthearted, but then they'll be kind of like, harsh. Like,
Right.
there's some the bad character does some kinda, like, really terrible things to these really sad people. See, here's this great, you get to see him as he makes his own superhero outfit because he worked in
Yeah.
a
He was
sewing
a fashion.
shop.
Right.
So I thought
Right.
that was really awesome. I love
And
that he has an outfit.
there's a quick shot of him saving a bus or a school bus
Yes.
on a cliff, and it was really well shot, really well
Mhm.
done. And again, there was real peril there. There was people that were ready to get
Yep.
off go down off a cliff and die, and
Mhm.
he saves the day. So there is that. We're not going to
Yep.
tell you that there's not there, but it's just a much more well-rounded superhero film than we're kind of used to seeing here with the Marvel and DC stuff. It's just a different experience, but a
Yeah, it
welcome
just
one for
felt a
me.
little richer, a little more
Yeah,
emotional,
yeah,
not as artificial. I mean, it's not cynical like, The Boys, which I also love, but it had a sort of, heartwarming, almost like if you're powerless in your life, what can you do? It's almost like a sort of analogy. If you finally have some power, what can you do to make your life better? And really all Jason wanted was a better life. He keeps saying that, "I just want a better life."
yes.
And, the other guy was like, he just
She,
wanted to take out revenge on everyone who wronged him in
Shibu
whatever way
was,
he could think of.
yeah, he finally he got the power that he never had, and he was
Yep.
going to use it to its fullest. He didn't care who he hurt,
Nope.
and so it was interesting in that way, kind of psychological
Yeah.
experiment. So
I
it's
think the
a,
best advice was when you go into it, just let it take its time and just enjoy it. Like, don't go, when's the action going to start? It's like, just get
right.
in this and it's an origin story. Like, just through and through, you get to see the guy before, you get to see him kind of happening, things slowly happening to him. And he doesn't understand. Is he sick? What's happening? And then slowly coming to realization what's happening. And then what am I going to do with this? And then all of a sudden realizing there's, more to it than that. And it's just a really, really fun and unique superhero film to me. Cause like you said, we're used to these Western style ones that just like bang, 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 bang. And it's just like, it starts
So
off right away.
well,
And I
sometimes
didn't
less
really
can
like
be
that.
sometimes less can be more. And at the
That's
end
right.
here, you get a lot of it, and then you get this feeling at
Hmm.
the end that as he looks out, over the the sunset, that there's more more adventures from Minnal Murali to come. Hopefully, because
Exactly.
he's a good character.
He's a good character, and also I thought the effects were really good because they didn't overplay him, especially early on when you see like just a dent in something he was, standing
Right.
next to, and he didn't realize his own strength. It's like little subtle things, and even when he becomes the superhero, I like that his suit was still homemade. It looked good, but
Mm-hmm.
his big action sequences, were really spectacular, but they didn't have the super flash, Western style thing. It still felt like it was almost realistic, and so I really appreciate that. I thought it was really sweet.
It was, and so I like stuff like that too, where it's a little bit more.
Hmm.
If a superhero movie can be realistic, it's like okay,
Yeah,
I can somehow telepathically pick up this rock and throw it at you.
exactly.
That's the
Exactly.
power,
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
um,
They're gonna throw a rock at you and you will die.
exactly.
But
But it was
so
really fun.
I
And
would
so
recommend it. You just have to, have some time. It's like, over 2 hours long, and you get to go on a whole adventure and get to know these people. And I think it's totally worth the journey.
it's a good origin story for a superhero that
It
I think
is.
will have more adventures to come. And it's
I
currently
would
playing
watch it.
on Netflix, so it's
Easy to find.
easy to find, easy to watch. Minnal Murali, directed by Basil Joseph. Quite good. We both
Yep.
enjoyed it, and we look forward
Hmm.
to some more adventures coming
Yep.
soon, hopefully.
Yes. See you next
Okay.
time.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, by the way.
Yep. Yes, which we always forget to ask, but please do. And please tell
And
us about some more films you want us to watch.
yeah, we have a good long list, but it can always be longer.
We want it to be long. We're going to be doing this a long time. Thanks a lot, you
Wonderful.
guys.
Take care, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.